and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Sherry, and today is my mom's 70th birthday, so I really want to make her something special today, and cross my fingers this will be like a showstopper. There was a cheesecake one of my relatives was bringing to our family functions, and my mom just fell in love with it. It was a no-bake cheesecake, and it had, I keep wanting to say Vienna sausages. Hopefully there's not a cheesecake out there with sausages on it, but lady fingers that went around it. And so I went to the store. They were out of ladyfingers. So I ended up buying, I think these are called Pirouettes. And I had about 80 of these, I guess. So 60 of them I cut in half. And we're going to use that for the outside of our cheesecake. And then the rest of them I just put in the blender and kind of crushed them up. And that's what we're going to use for our crust. So normally if you make a crust for your cheesecake, you want to put a couple of tablespoons of butter in there. But because this has the chocolate filling in there, I think it's going to press down nicely and make a crust for us. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and get started on the filling. So I'm going to grab my mixer. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I've got 4 packages of cream cheese here. I know it sounds like a lot. So I'm going to add in, let's see, maybe half. These have been sitting out a while. I would have thought they were a little bit softer than this. And then I've got 2.5 cups of powdered sugar. And I'm just going to add about half of that in there also. The other thing I want to add is a teaspoon of vanilla. And then a little bit of lemon juice. So I've got my citrus press here. Oh, I don't have it in there right. Got it all cockeyed. All right, there we go. So just about a teaspoon or so. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give this a whirl. All right, once that is pretty well mixed, we're going to go ahead and add in the rest of our powdered sugar. Whoop. Got some on the floor. All right, the rest of that. All right, once we've got that incorporated, we're going to go ahead and put in the rest of our cream cheese. All right, that is looking good. So I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this back into this bowl, and then we're going to whip up some heavy whipping cream. All right, we've got our bowl all cleaned up, ready to go. So the next thing I want to do is measure out 2 whole cups of heavy whipping cream. We're going to add this to our mixer. And actually, there's not too much left in here. I'm just going to dump the rest in there. This will make it extra fluffy. So all I'm going to do is whip the heavy whipping cream. I'm going to whip it until it gets really stiff peaks. All right, that looks good. One thing I did forget was I forgot to put my whip attachment on instead of my paddle, which you could probably do with the paddle, but it's going to take 100 times longer. All right, so I'm going to take my bowl off of here, and we are going to fold in, and I may not have a big enough bowl for this. I may have to get a bigger bowl. But we're going to fold the whipped cream into our cream cheese mixture. I think I'm going to make this bowl work after all. Just want to make sure you're scraping your sides down to get all the cream cheese mixture off there. So I don't have a whole lot of whipped cream left in here. So I think I'm just going to take what's here and we will fold from there. I'm too lazy to get out another bowl. I have to wash another bowl. All right, so here goes the last bit. So we're just going to finish folding this in. All right, once we have this all folded in, we're going to set it aside, and now we are going to work on our crust. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of this cookie crumbs in here. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and use all of them. I don't mind if my crust is a little bit thicker. Matter of fact, it might help hold these cookies down around the edge. I'm a bit worried about them toppling over, but I think if I have an issue with it, I will maybe put a little bit of the filling in, and then we'll see what happens. So I'm going to push these edges down, try to make them all even around the sides, and that should help them stand up a little bit, I hope. So I just want to make sure I got it pressed down good. My pan's popping. I think I need a new springform pan. Okay, let me give my hands a quick rinse. And then we are going to take all of our cookies and we're just going to stand them right around the edge. Okay, so as you can see, I had a little bit of a trouble getting started, but once I started pressing them down into the crust, then everything seemed to go okay. They do look like they're tilting a little bit, but I think they're going to be fine. So, and I even have a couple left over to snack on. All right, so we're going to get our filling back over here. The other thing you're going to need is some sliced strawberries. So you can use some fresh strawberries and just sprinkle a little bit of sugar on them, let them sit for about an hour until they kind of come up in their own juices. Or I just bought some frozen ones. I had bought some fresh strawberries, but I didn't know how soon I'd get around to making the cake, and the fresh strawberries aren't so fresh anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about half of this cream cheese mixture, and we're going to press it down into the bottom of here. And what I'm doing is kind of starting in the middle, and I'm just going to press outward. And hopefully we don't make a mess of all our little cookies around the edges. So once this is all set up, one thing I'm going to do is tie a little ribbon. Once I take the springform pan off, I'm going to tie a little ribbon around here. And another thing I did was, my mom's favorite color is red. So I made some buttercream frosting this morning, and I piped a few little flowers, and I put them in the freezer. So I may top this cake with that, or you could just use regular strawberries on top. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet. All right, so now that I have half of it on there, I'm going to add a little bit of strawberries to the center. And you know, I think I'm going to strain these real quick, just because I don't want it to make my mixture all mushy. All right, so I just ran those through a strainer real quick to get some of the liquid out. And I'm going to take our filling, or our strawberries, I should say. It is going to make a filling, and we're going to put it right down in the center. Now, I don't want to go all the way to the edges. Once I put the rest of the cheesecake topping on there, I don't want it to squish out to the edges. We really don't want to be able to see it from the outside. Matter of fact, I may even push it down in here a little bit so that the cheesecake mixture kind of builds a wall around there. And I think that's good. I'm not going to use all of them because, like I said, I don't want it to come out the edges. All right, so a little more cheesecake filling on top. And this time I'm going to try to start from the edges. That way I'm not pushing the strawberry filling into the sides of my cheesecake. All right, I got just about all of it on there. So I'm going to take my offset spatula, or I'm not going to take my offset spatula. I think it must be in my Pampered Chef bag. So we're just going to take our little scraper here and smooth all of this out. I think I'm actually going to take some of the filling back out. I kind of want this all to be even on top. I don't want it to be mounded like a regular cake. That can be my snack for later too. All right. It's looking pretty. The other thing I normally do is, if I'm going to make a cheesecake, I normally line my springform pan with parchment paper, but because it has all the cookies around the outside, I didn't think that was the best idea this time. All right, I think that looks good. So I'm just going to put this in the fridge to firm up, and you're going to want to leave this in overnight. So unfortunately, I am not going to be cutting this on camera because I want to give it to my mom like looking perfectly, but I will take a picture of it beforehand, and hopefully you'll all enjoy it. All right, so we'll see what it looks like here in a little bit. And here she is, our fancy strawberry Pirouette cheesecake. I think it turned out just beautiful, and it's going to make a perfect gift for my mom's birthday. Matter of fact, I think it'd make a perfect gift for any special day or any special person. So I hope you'll give it a try because it really is easy and it's a whole lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching.